Hello again, and let's do more business news. The Institute for Fiscal Studies, IFS, has charged the State Enterprises Commission to sanction the Ghana National Petroleum Corporation, GNPC. According to the IFS, GNPC is among several state enterprises that failed to comply with statutory reporting deadlines. Ebenezer Sabote has more in this report.
According to the Institute for Fiscal Studies, the Ghana National Petroleum Corporation has not been consistent with information on its activities and in releasing its annual financial report, which it is mandated to do under the State Enterprises Commission law. The situation may have a negative impact on the image of the corporation as a non-transparent state enterprise, according to the IFS. Leslie Dwight Mentor is a research fellow at the IFS.
Our recommendation is that, the institutions that are the authorities to receive these reports should apply sanctions where deadlines are not satisfied. So, for example, the PFM Act requires all public corporations or SOEs to submit their financial statements to the Ministry of Finance by end April of each financial year.
In a sharp rebuttal, General Manager in charge of sustainability at GNPC, Kwame Ba Nuako, disagreed with the recommendations.
I think we are not being fair. If you're saying that the only reason why GNPC is not being we are not being proactive is because we have only published from 2014 to 2015, but you got data on 2016 from GNPC or other sources. Those same sources have all the 2017 and 2018 data. And that's why I'm saying you pick and choose which data supports your argument, and I don't think it's fair.
The public forum by the IFS was under the theme Assessing the Management of the Ghana Petroleum Funds and GNPC Revenue, and it was centered on the yet-to-be-released report authored by the IFS on petroleum revenue.
Ghana's mobile phone penetration is now 130%. According to the latest Jumia mobile report, the increase is as a result of high demand for smart mobile devices. Here are highlights of that report.
According to the report, the mobile sector has contributed $2.9 billion, approximately 4.2% of the country's GDP. However, Ghana's mobile sector is poised for continuous growth in 2019, largely due to increased investment in the sector and growth in data and mobile money services in the country. The report showed that Ghana currently has a mobile subscription base of 38.78 million, making 130% penetration, and an internet connectivity of 10 million, representing 35% of the population. The report also indicated Ghana's mobile market is still on a positive trajectory as interest in products and services in the sector continue to grow. Underpinning this optimism in the sector are a number of factors, including the fact that a number of established brands like Huawei and Samsung are reaching out to the underserved segment of the market with the introduction of more affordable smartphones at competitive pricing. Again, several hitherto unknown brands have introduced highly spec smartphones at equally competitive prices. In 2018, mobile phone sales for the online retailer Jumia grew as much as 75% over the previous year, with smartphone sales contributing 90% of total sales. Finally, the report showed mobile broadband coverage in Ghana was 80.33% as of 2018, with strong indications of growth following recent hints by government to roll out 5G services.
Take a look at some facts on Ghana's mobile market. To other stories now, President of the Institute of Internal Auditors, Julius Abuajiriafe, says she supports the idea behind prosecuting corrupt internal auditors to serve as a deterrent to others involved in such fraudulent activities. This was after it was alleged that some internal auditors were conniving with contractors to raise certificates for non-existent contracts. Here's a take in an interview with Joy Business.
My institute is the Institute of Internal Auditors, Ghana. And then we have other associations of internal auditors. But what we are doing is to encourage them to become members of our institute. For all internal auditors who are using the International Professional Practices Framework, we call it a Red Book, we have a code of conduct for all of us, whether you are in the assembly. Once you are using the IPPF, that code of conduct should help you. You have to be objective, you have to act confidentially, you have to have integrity, and then you have to have the competence to do the work. So those are the four main things that should guide all of us. I believe that as auditors, a lot is expected of us. Generally, internationally, they'll tell you auditors should be the third line of defense, meaning that when the first line breaks, the second line breaks, the third one shouldn't. But in Ghana, most auditors are working as first line defense, that is doing the controls and all that, which should be done by finance and other departments. And even with that, we should be able to stop the issues right there before it even escalates. But if some auditors themselves find themselves doing what is wrong, then it's quite unfortunate. But I also want to bring to the fore that the Public Financial Management Act has certain provisions for auditors, and there are also sanctions. So if auditors are caught in it, I think the law must work. That one, it has to work so that we'll have some sanity in our system. I believe that management should embrace internal auditors and work with them. They are partners, you know. If you train your internal auditor very well, he or she will advise you properly.
As of 10:50 this morning, crude oil was selling at $67.96 a barrel after losing by minus 0.01%. Details of how other commodities fared today in Commodity News. That's all for now with me, Sandra Esinam. And you can cut the day's running stories on myjoyonline.com/business for all our updates. My name is Sandra Esinam. And once again, and do have a great evening.